How y'all doing? It is your boy Dusty Outlaw here, and I'm excited to bring to you my brand new YouTube channel, solely based, at least so far, what's going to be just tutorials on all things ROMJ. Hit me up with any requests for YouTube videos that you guys want to see. Um, at this time, I'm just going off of a few suggestions that I've had and a lot of requests on like how do I do this, how do I do that. Well, this is the channel. This is where you're gonna want to find out how to do a lot of things because I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I've been doing this for about I'd say about 10 years at this point. As far as building things, maybe 8.5 years, maybe 9 years. And were a lot more simpler back then than they are now. But I like to just give a shout out to guys like Damian Fenton, Anthony Malone, Ethan Massey, others as well, for sort of helping out with teaching me when I sort of came back into all of this on how to put trucks together and everything. So without further ado, as the title says, this is where you get to find out how to weld up trucks. And obviously anything that I have in here that you'll need in studio, I will put a link down into the description below, including the CFrameGUI and the joint script, which we will get to those later. All right, so first things first. Obviously, you want to get into studio, and whatever truck you have here that's unwelded, this is what you want to pick apart. So first things first, before you do anything, the CFrameGUI, it's a plugin for Studio. Install this. Like I said, link will be in the description. Don't have to worry about that at all. You will definitely be needing that before you do anything. Now, what you'll need to do first off is normally you have the chassis and the props along with the tires grouped separately. So these are two individual groupings. The chassis is one, and then, of course, the props are the other. The body is also separate. So in total, there will be three groupings. Um, if there are no three, if there's not three groupings, that's perfectly fine as long as the body itself, because majority of the bodies now in Roblox nowadays consist of unions. So with the way the vehicle seat works, in order for unions to appear in game, you have to make sure that the body that contains unions is separate from being grouped with the seat together. You can group it all in one once you're done. I will show you all of that, of course, when the time comes. But for now, when you have the body right here, you want to ungroup it completely. You have to make sure that the entire body is ungrouped completely. This body here, Surf and Turf, has a lot of parts, which is perfectly fine. I always like to make sure and double check everything is completely ungrouped before I do anything with this. I want to go under properties here. I want to make sure that the use part color is checked off. Yeah, let's check that off. That's the only thing I noticed. Once in a while, you'll see parts change. Only because this is not a body that I made or anything that I made, so I'm not exactly sure like how what parts specifically were union, which ones weren't. Anyways, you want to make sure that the used part check box is there, or used part color, excuse me. You want to make sure it is anchored first. Please make sure it is anchored first. You want to make sure that it's non-collidable. And as far as bodies go, with all the bodies, some bodies are pickup trucks, and you have other ones like this that are complicated with over 1,100 parts. Like Surf and Turf here, a great example of that. You want to make sure it's massless completely. You make sure it's massless, and you are good to go. Like the body, once this decides to group together, there we go. The chassis is also anchored as well as all of the props. So the first thing you want to do then, once you get the body on now, click and drag, you have three items. Perfect. So what you want to do with the props, and of course these are OM 2.1 chassis. If you're not seeing this in March or April, these chassis will be released by March of 2021 for public use. You want to ungroup just the props, and that's it. The tires will be grouped with the BKT or Titan Tires logos, whatever they are, as well as the rims. They will all be grouped together. That is totally fine. So then, once you do that, you just ungroup that once, you click and drag, you deselect all four wheels. Then our CFrameGUI comes in, you click welding, you click join. Once you click join, everything is welded. Now, next thing you do, you click and drag, select all. You want to deselect the body and then deselect the chassis. After that, you want to ungroup all of the props completely. You might have to hit it a few times that way that everything, including the seat, is completely 100% ungrouped. After that, you click and drag, deselect the body and deselect the chassis again. You want to scroll down under properties and you want to click unanchor. Once it's unanchored, you group it together. Same thing goes with the body. Now you may ungroup the body then, and then you also have to unanchor the body. Once that's done, you group that back together, and then all you have left to unanchor is the chassis. And again, you just click the chassis, ungroup completely, click unanchor, done. Now, you have your 3 models back to the way it was, your truck is unanchored, and it's almost ready. Now, most trucks without this step could work, but ever since switching to OHM 2.1, if you want to play it safe and guarantee that your truck will stay together once your truck is welded, you have these 3 models selected in Explorer. That is totally fine. You want to group that as one. Right click, insert from file, and again, the link to the joint script, Lua script, that will be in the description. I did not make this script. This was made by Roblox dev George Tulsma, so I want to give him full credit for that. Definitely appreciate him helping out in the motorsports realm here on Roblox. Now we have our joint script in with the model. So in Explorer, your joint script and your 3 individual groups, which is the props, the chassis, and the body, are all going to be right under the tab of this entire model as a whole. Once that is then saved, your truck is completely welded and everything is good to go. It's ready to hit the track, and now every time I make a truck, if I'm using it for a tour or something, like in this case, this will be used for FMJ. Obviously, I'm going to go into a game and test it and make sure everything's working properly like normal, which at this point it should. Once in a while, you will make the mistake where like you'll deselect certain things or maybe not ungroup everything completely where some parts might be unanchored. That's totally fine. That is why in a separate studio I always have an unwelded model or unwelded grouping of the truck separate. But yeah, this was just used as the example here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to my Discord at any time. I am pretty busy with doing FMJ stuff right now. Of course, getting everything for the tour ready, trucks, stadiums, tracks, etc., you name it. But if there's any way I can help, just reach out, let me know. More tutorials will be on the way. Thanks for checking in, and I'll see you next time.